Hey, good morning. A beautiful day out on the little hilltop. Ducks are on the pond, the chickens are in the yacht lot, and the sheep all eating their breakfast and going out, and we're looking into God's Word. It's Acts chapter 18, beginning with verse 12. We read yesterday that Paul was told to stay in the city for a while because he was there with him, and so he stays and teaches. Listen to what happens. When Gallio was proconsul of Achaia, the Jews with one accord rose up against Paul and brought him to the judgment seat, saying, "This fellow persuades men to worship God contrary to the law." And when Paul was about to open his mouth, Gallio said to the Jews, "If it were a matter of wrongdoing or wicked crimes, O Jews, there would be a reason why I should bear with you. But if it is a question of words and names and your own law, look to it yourselves, for I do not want to be a judge of such matters." And he drove them from the judgment seat. Then all the Greeks took Sosthenes, the ruler of the synagogue, and beat him before the judgment seat. But Gallio took no notice of these things. So Paul still remained a good while. Then he took leave of the brethren and sailed for Syria, and Priscilla and Aquila were with him. He had his hair cut off at Cenchrea, for he had taken a vow. And so in this passage, we see that the proconsul would not get involved. He wouldn't listen to the Jews who had an argument about that. He said, that's a religious question. I need to stay out of that. And so they take and they beat Sosthenes. Now later on, you'll read in 1 Corinthians where Paul writes a letter there, and he says, "Greetings to my brother Sosthenes." And so this ruler of the synagogue became a believer. He became a Jewish Christian. And so Paul stayed there a while. They couldn't get rid of him. They couldn't do that. So Paul stayed and taught. And then we see that he and Priscilla and Aquila head off to another place. We need to stay the course. We need to continue to do what we need to do. We need to be engaged in our society. We need to be engaged in doing, but never forget what our first priority is: the sharing of the gospel, the encouraging of the saints. I encourage you this day to be mindful of that and do your best to encourage, as Paul did, to persuade others to worship God in the proper way and to accept Christ and to live a life that honors Him. Pray that you have a wonderful day. Know that you're loved, and know as always at Westview, we're here for you. So you have a great one, and God bless.